What is going on, guys? It's Rick here, and I'm so excited to show you this game that I played. It was round 8 of my Chess Open, and I was paired up against Bertrand Terwagen. I don't know, I probably jinxed that name pretty bad, but he's a Belgium player, 1845 elo rated player, and yeah, well, I had the black pieces. And yeah, this is probably by the title you already know. Um, I think Mikhail Tal would be proud of this game by me. So yeah, you know that something crazy is gonna happen. So let's start. Um, e4. My opponent goes for e4. I go d6. My opponent goes d4. Knight f6. Knight c3. e5. So a pretty standard like perk slash not a very standard perk, but a standard Philidor. Um, and here he doesn't want to go into the endgame, so he plays knight f3. I play knight d7, and now we have the lion variation of the Philidor, which is like I actually love this variation, and I've been playing it mainly against e4 in the last tournaments. My opponent goes bishop c4, which is the main line, I think, and I go bishop e7. And here, my opponent goes for a very sharp but somewhat risky move, which is knight g5. And you know, at first glance, if you don't know this move, you might be like, what does this do? Okay, I mean it attacks f7, but I just castle, and you know, let's say just grabs this. I grab here, and he takes, and I mean, okay, he got a rook for two pieces, I think. Yeah, and a pawn. So I mean, it's probably equal, or even with the two pieces, I think I'm slightly better, and indeed I'm better, but that's not the idea behind this variation, and it was kind of actually funny that I don't think he went into knight g5, and like in this position, it took like 20 minutes to play knight g5, which I was kind of okay. That's weird. But I guess he calculated over the board that he had this, and the whole variation here, which is forced, and it's very sharp, is what he played. Bishop takes f7. Now, of course, I have to take it, and now he plays knight e6, and this is a very important move because he attacks my queen on d8, and I only have one square, which is e8, and now he takes on c7, attacking my queen again and forking the queen and the rook. So I have to go back to d8, and he takes my rook. And this is the initial position, and this is called the forcing line. As you saw, it makes sense. It's very forcing. And here, from the looks of it, I'm just down a exchange and two pawns for absolutely nothing. I mean, it looks very bad, but actually the engines already prefer black a bit, and yeah, it's very sharp, and you have to really play actively, and it's gonna be a fight. Here, I guess the best move is b5, but from what I've studied, and I go b6, and yeah, I was still in theory, so I pretty much blitzed out all the moves. I had like 1 hour and 33 minutes, and here he probably already had like, I would like to say that he already had like 50 minutes maybe. So yeah, he already like spent like 40 minutes to get to this position, and not gonna lie, uh he spent a lot of time in the opening in general. And here he played knight b5, and here it's where I started thinking, because I never saw this move. I never saw knight b5, and I was out of book. I didn't really didn't really know what to do. Normally in this position, I was, you know, like seeing knight b6. It's very common. Here takes with the queen, and I guess he has the exchange. He has like three pawns for it, and yeah, it's very sharp. But here there's other moves like there's castles here for sure. There's even something like d5 here, which is perfectly playable, and all of these moves I kind of was expecting, but knight b5 I didn't really ever see or study, and I was like, I spent a lot of time here because I thought that something was wrong here, and yeah, I didn't think this was good. I played the normal looking a6 to ask the knight a question. Where does the knight want to go? I could take on e4 here, but I didn't end up doing this. I don't remember why. But a6 here, and he went knight c7, so he went inside my position, and yeah, this is very very chaotic position. I don't think like you expect this type of position from move 12. But here I just played bishop b7, and he played f3, protecting the pawn on e4 now, and I just took the knight. And I was happy that I was happy about this position. If he went for this, I was like, okay, this is a position very sharp, very like what is going on. He can even play d5, and I have to find a way to break through, and there it's like it's a fantastic position in terms of complexity and possibilities. It's very nice, very unorthodox as well. But here he went for knight e6. Okay, attacking my queen, I go queen c8, taking over the open file here, and he goes d5, so very understandable. So far it's equal, and here the knight on e6 is kind of annoying, so I just played knight c5, attacking the knight, threatening to win the pawn on d5 if he just ignores knight on c5. And here he played a move that kind of surprised me. Played knight g5. I wasn't expecting this. I truly was expecting him to take, and I would take with the queen here, and so far he can't really castle. I think I might have some sacrifices like knight e4 in the future, with the threat of opening the path for the queen, checkmating, stuff like that. So I was excited about that position, but he played knight g5 here, and I played rook f8, of course, saving my rook. And here he played b4, which surprised me again. I was like, really? Like, damn, he just pushing my pieces back, he's just dancing with the knight. And here first thing that comes into mind is like knight a4, trying to maybe go to c3. Also just falling back with the knight to d7. But here, this is like, he can play like this again, and it's actually, yeah, I didn't really see what to do, and I started trying to explore other possibilities, like I don't know, maybe attacking the knight with h6 to counterattack. But yeah, this is nothing to be proud of. And I started looking at knight takes e4 here for a long time, or this knight takes e4. But at first it seemed like it seemed like very very artificial. It didn't work, but I wanted you guys to try to find the best move here that kind of wins for black. And yeah, I'll let you think for like 10 seconds while I sip my coffee. Hope you're enjoying the video. I just wanted to point out quickly that 82% of you guys that watch my videos aren't subscribed, and I would highly appreciate if you could hit that subscribe button. Thank you. So here I think this is the best move of my chess career, and so far totally the best move of my chess career, and it took me like 45 minutes to calculate everything and actually go for this line. And the move that I played was knight takes e4. Best move in the position, sacrificing the knight, you know. And yeah, this is why I think Mikhail Tal would be proud of this game. Not only because of the style, very sharp, very, you know, confrontational, but this move it hits hard. Knight takes e4. It's completely winning for black minus 2.5, and you know that's already a lot. And yeah, here I had to calculate everything. So there's pawn takes e4 here. There is b takes c5 here. There's even like knight takes c5 here. There's like so many possibilities that it really took me a long while to calculate. So let's go for the first one. So what if pawn takes here? Well, if he takes on e4, you first take on g5 with your bishop. Now you capture the knight, you're attacking his bishop, your knight is still hanging. So let's say he plays bc5, which is the best move. Now we have queen takes c5. And this is it's very dangerous for white, because now he can't take back because there's mate on f2, which I saw. And yeah, there's like, let's say he plays I don't know, queen e2, for example, trying to protect the f2, and if I capture the bishop, for example, on c1, he captures back with the rook, and it's completely fine. It's just up an exchange. But here, if he plays like queen e2, I have queen c3 check. I'm like, he has to go to d1, or he can't really block this, and I'm attacking the rook. So here the only move would have been queen d3, which allows me to play queen takes f2, and after king e1. Here I was actually like, I stopped here on my calculations, but yeah, I wasn't sure if I should have played bishop takes on c1, or if I should go for queen takes on g2. But I think queen takes on g2. Yeah, the engine says it's better because, you know, I mean, let's say he takes here, I'm threatening queen takes h1, and you know, I don't know, maybe like he can't go here, yeah, and I'm still protecting the bishop. So let's, yeah, he can't even take. So yeah, but I stopped on queen f2 check. So that is pretty much knight takes on f takes on e4. I calculated that, you know, it just works out for me. And let's go back, because let's say it takes here with the bishop. There's knight takes e4 here. I'm not only threatening the bishop, but you know, he can't really castle. I'm also threatening to go on c3 again, and my knight is just awesome. I stopped here and I thought, okay, this has to be good for me. I didn't calculate further. And yeah, so that's like knight takes f takes on e4 for him. I mean, I didn't even consider things like castle, because this piece is just hanging, so I can just take it, and if he goes here, I can just play queen takes on c5, and I can go back with my knight, and I'm up material. So yeah, that didn't even cross my mind. He had to take something. So here, other than after f takes e4, I also had to calculate knight takes here on e4. I calculated knight takes on e4, and after he takes here, I had bishop h4 check, which is it's very good, because let's say he does the natural g3, I have queen c3 check, which I saw. On queen d2, I can go queen f3, attack the rook, and I don't want to do this, because this is just not as good. I let him off the hook, and also this takes also works because just look at his king, and let's say goes on d1 here. I can even go queen f3, just pick up the rook, and I'll get back my material and I'll be in a better position. So yeah, knight takes e4 also doesn't work, and yeah, in the game he ended up playing b takes c5, which is another variation. And here I saw that I can take on and I thought that I had to take on g5 with the bishop, and here we kind of get into a similar position. Let's say he takes on e4, I have queen takes c5, and we reach the same position that we saw earlier. Let's say he takes on g5, I can also take on c5, and this is the important thing because he doesn't have this, because there's mate on f2. This is very important. That's why knight takes e4 kind of works, because there's always this threat of just ignoring this knight and going for mate because he can't take, and that's the whole thing. But here actually surprised me a lot because he played what I didn't see. I didn't consider this move for him, which was c6, kind of blocking this file. And actually this is worse. This is actually very, very bad for him. And I didn't calculate this before going 44, but I tried to figure out something, and I did figure out the best and only move, which is bishop h4 check. What a game, bro. And here, yeah, g3 looks like all my pieces are hanging, like this knight, this bishop is hanging, this knight is still hanging, but I have queen h3, which is so brutal. I mean, it doesn't matter what piece he takes, he's just screwed. Let's say he takes the bishop here, he gets it with queen takes h4, king f1, and here he's just gonna get mated, he's just mated on f2. And if he goes here, I mean, like f2 is again leading to mate soon. So yeah, he can't take the bishop, as you guys saw. Let's say he takes the knight, I mean, just bishop takes g3. But yeah, I saw queen h3 and saw that it worked. So yeah, what can he do? Okay, he can go king f1, which is what happened in the game. And here I missed the best move. Here apparently knight c3 was the best move, which I mean attacks the queen, but I thought I didn't see anything after, let's say, queen d3. I didn't see the knockout blow, but actually e4, just a knockout blow. Let's say if it doesn't go there, let's say he goes queen d2, e4 is a knockout blow again. This is very strong. Let's say he tries to ignore it with f4, trying to close out everything. Actually, yeah, just queen g4 here. Wow. Queen g4. Yeah, I mean, wow. Jesus Christ. I think I'm threatening to just... Am I threatening to take it? Let's say he plays something like h3 here. Yeah, rook f4. Queen takes f4, and then queen d1 mate. Oh god, yeah, wow. So yeah, knight c3 was actually pretty good, and I didn't see any of this during the game. And I played what I thought was the most natural, which is the second best move. Slightly worse, I mean a big ton worse, which is knight f2. But it seems natural. I'm attacking the queen, I'm attacking the rook, and I'm winning material. I'm winning an exchange back. And here he played queen e2, I took, and he played bishop e3. And I shouldn't have taken, which is funny. Taking is not a good move, because there's better. There's e4 here, and e4 is like, wow. It's wild. It just wants to open everything. It doesn't even care about the material that I can get. Just wants like mate, and let's say f4 here, I have queen f5, and the pressure is mounting in his position, but queen f5 is not even the best. Like now he wants to take. It's just, I don't know. It's tough. I consider d4 after taking on h1. So here he played bishop e3, and I kind of, again, e4 is the best move. I kind of considered, but after here, I didn't really see a path forward, but apparently just queen f5 again, and yeah, I mean, let's say g3 here. G3 here, can I sack? Yeah, I can sack here. Yeah, I can just sack. Takes, and I mean, you count the material. I'm better, even though this bishop is kind of stuck. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm up a piece, right? Now I am the one up a piece. But yeah, I have pressure on these pawns and on this king. Yeah, but yeah, I kind of went for this sack. So I sacked another piece. I thought that this bishop was not going anywhere, and I thought, let's just win 2 pawns for the piece. And so I sacked another piece. I sacked the bishop for the pawns, and here he played king g1. But this is bad. I kind of lost almost all my advantage. e4 was really important to play. And yeah, I started going wrong here. After queen takes c6, here he played king g1. And we were both low on the clock for my standards. We were both like with, I would want to say, like 15 minutes maybe on the clock. And yeah, I mean, he's taking my knight. I'm gonna be up a pawn, but yeah, he's also pressuring this pawn on a6. It's kind of tough for me to. It was kind of tough for me to actually find a move here. And yeah, I mean, if I wanted to liquidate, I thought I could just go knight g3 here, and he has to take, and yeah, now I'm up 2 pawns. It's gonna be hard to lose this, but for some reason I didn't like the fact that he would take on a5 here and pressure this pawn. I thought this wasn't good for me, but yeah, this just loses on the spot to queen c3, double attack here, and here there's no way to defend this. He can't even go here, so to defend the bishop, and yeah, it's just over. But I didn't see this, so yeah, I didn't go for knight g3, and I played queen c3, which it's kind of weird that I saw this move, but I didn't see it if it happened when queen takes a6. But here I thought, okay, this is nice. I'm attacking. I'm putting pressure on the bishop. I'm putting pressure on the rook. I'm bringing my queen in. And yeah, here just plays rook d1. And all of a sudden, I was a bit scared about my position. And I wasn't so sure because, okay, there's no way I'm going to save this knight. And yeah, you see this position, even though I'm up a temporary piece and a pawn, like, he's putting pressure here. This pawn on d6 is hanging. This pawn on b6 is hanging. This pawn on a6 is hanging. And here I went wrong. But yeah, the engine just wants to play rook c8. Doesn't really care about these hanging pawns, just wants to counter attack here. But let's just show a line. Let's say rook takes on d6. Yeah, the engine doesn't even want me to take on c2, which I think it's the more natural move. Queen takes c2, let's say rook takes c2, and yeah, here I don't. Is he on time to play like rook takes on b6? No, bishop takes on f2. Oh my goodness gracious! He can't even take back here. Just gets mated. Wow. But he can. Oh, and if he takes here, I have bishop takes on e3, and I'm up a piece, and I'm threatening mate, and I'm threatening the rook. Oh my god. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I didn't see all of these tactical possibilities. I went for something that I thought was very cool, and I was so proud that I found this. But looking back at it, it looked good, but it wasn't that good as it looked. And here, I uh, I sacked my queen for the bishop on e3. Bro, like this game, bro. I sacked. How many pieces did I sack in this game, bro? I sacked everything. This is so cool. Such a cool game. So I sacked on e3 because after he's forced to take my queen to accept the sacrifice, I have bishop f2 check. And I win back the piece, the queen, because this knight and this bishop just work wonderfully. And, but this is not that good because it just allows him to simplify into a holdable endgame, I guess. He takes, and actually here he just took on f2. I was actually kind of worried because I started thinking that he could play actually rook takes d6 because my knight doesn't have a square to save himself. And here I would have to sacrifice it with knight takes h3 and we would go into this endgame. But yeah, I guess this is nothing to worry about. The engine actually likes black. I can take on f3, I can play rook f6, protect the pawns, and yeah, this is a better endgame for sure. But here he just took the knight, which is the more sensible move, I think. And yeah, here the engine, and here we reach a position where my nightmares, arrive, which is rook and pawn endgame. And here I am up a pawn, up a clean pawn in the center. And my structure is better. His king is slightly more active. His rook is more active than mine, so I guess he has that type of compensation for the pawn. But it still should be really hard for him to ult, and it looks like kind of impossible for me to lose this endgame being up a pawn like this, right? But let's see what happened. Here I played rook d8, which, it's passive, but I was like, okay, I have time for that. Yeah, the engine prefers slightly rook c8. Actually, rook c8 and rook d8, the engine gives more or less the same evaluation. But here I decided to go for rook d8. He goes king e3, king f7, rook d3 here, and I go king e6. So I thought, okay, my king on e6 is perfect. It doesn't allow his king to come forward into my position, and after king e6, my rook can start to get active. But here, he strikes first with activity with rook c3, claiming the only open file. And here this was a very important moment, and I played the wrong move, rook d7. I should have played here king d7, which I considered, but I didn't like because of king e4. And I thought that on rook c8, if he took, and I took, it would be here, and I would come here. And I thought that this was not winnable. I was playing this endgame for the win, and I thought that this would not be winning for me because this king is so much better than mine. I don't see how I'm gonna actually just take this king off this square, and I didn't really see a way to improve my position, and I didn't see a way to make, for example, a passed pawn and stuff like that. I thought that I didn't really have much in this position, so I didn't go for that. I decided to play rook d7, keep my king on e6. Although, let's be honest, what I just showed you was kind of winning for black. So I completely misevaluated that position after we trade the rooks. So here he goes, rook c6. His rook is very, very active, and I defend my pawn with rook b7. Here the computer still prefers black, but it's not as much. And here he goes king e4, and now it's you kind of see that something went wrong because I can't really kick this king out of here because of the rook position. And here, of course, I don't want to go king d7 because he actually gets in with the king, and now it's pretty much game over. I have no moves, and it's just crushing me, which is correct. But here I was already kind of pissed. I was pissed off at myself, and I was very frustrated because I felt like something went wrong. I allowed him to get way too active. I was too passive, and I ended up in this position, which it's very hard to play. I think it's even hard to play for me for equality because I don't see a way to improve my position, and I can't really just pass the move, right? I have to move something. I played a5 because I didn't really know what to play. He plays c4, and here, I was afraid of pushing these pawns here because, let's say I push g5, I was thinking something like, I don't know, g3, and actually, no, you know what? I was more afraid of like something like rook c8 and going behind these pawns and putting pressure. Let's say here, and I would like kind of be scared of hanging this g5 pawn, so I would go like h6. But here, he gets h8, and how do I defend this pawn? I was kind of afraid of moving those pawns because of that, because he could just come behind and infiltrate my position that way. So I just decided to move the pawns on the queen side, and here I played b5. I was trying to liquidate some pawns and to make the position more simple. I was already fighting for a draw here, in my mind, and here he just plays c5. I have to go back to d7 to just protect this pawn, and here he goes rook b6. I push the pawn before, and here there's no way to protect the pawn on a5, so I just played a4. He takes here, and yeah, I just take the pawn back. He takes the pawn, and here I play check. King e3, rook c4 here, and he plays rook d3. I play rook c3 check. He plays king d2, and here we already like with 2 minutes/3 minutes on the clock, which I mean, at least for me, you guys know that that's already like super time pressure for me in this type of formats. And yeah, I played this move. I played this horrible move. Like I just lose the game instantly. But yeah, I just play rook a3, which is like literally just straight up losing, and um, I had no like reason to do this. But I'll tell you, after my pretty distorted and bad calculation, I thought that after rook c4, his whole idea was to play a3, and I thought that I was gonna lose this pawn, and I was gonna be worse because of course I can't take this. It just takes my my rook, comes back for the pawn, and yeah, I didn't see the simple rook d4 check. And here, I do this intermediate move. I protect my rook, and let's say goes king e3. I can just take the pawn, honestly. He has no time to do this because now it is actually losing. So here he would have to take the pawn on a3, and yeah, this should be holdable because I'm just cutting off his king. And I think, let's say, just a move like rook b4, like that saying that they say all rook end games are drawn, and here, yeah, I mean, there's nothing for him, I think. Yeah, this would likely be just a draw, even though my structure is worse. But yeah, I didn't see that rook d4 check move, and yeah, I completely panicked with this. I don't know what went wrong in my mind. I mean, and here he just takes, and yeah, I'll fast forward this. Yeah, here he just resigned. He just won the game, and I mean, I played probably one of my best tactical games in terms of sacrifices and just playing without any like fear, just pure pure calculation, pure like just going for it, going for the attack, going for the mate, and not afraid of sacrificing pieces. I sacrificed like a million pieces, but in the end, the my nerves, my inability to keep calm under tough circumstances, and just not being able to play chess with pressure on the clock, just completely melting down, and you know, for no reason. It's just something that to work on. Pretty much just the psychological part of chess is very important, and I think that is pretty weak part of my game. And just in general, just I was very just nervous after I took on e4, and I realized that it actually worked and I was completely winning. I got so excited and I got so nervous. Oh my god, I'm gonna win a beautiful, like, a immortal game. That's gonna be my immortal game and stuff like that. I was like too nervous and I couldn't even compose myself to finish off my opponent, and couldn't even nail the draw in the rook up a pawn rook endgame, which is, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. But I've been studying a lot of endings, almost finishing up like Silman's endgame course, and yeah, it's just been helpful to study those endgames, and hopefully I can bring better results in the future with the rook endgames. But yeah, it's hard, it's tough, but it's chess. You can be on top of the world when you win and when you're doing well, but all of a sudden, just small mistakes, they can just take everything out of you. But yeah, I'm not giving up anytime soon, and this just actually just motivates me even more to know that I am capable of making extraordinary moves and good games. I just need to work a lot more on other parts of my game. But yeah, this was it, guys. Very long video. Very. I hope you enjoyed this crazy game, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video for the final round of my chess open.